Never seen anything like this before. I should ask Wallace.
Welcome back. Careful now. Let me see here. Ho-ho! You've been introduced to that girl Clementine. Powerful woman she is, but she weren't always so. She's near as old as Ford is, if you can believe it. Even older than my old bones. How about it? Those two have a lot in common, including traveling to other worlds. Clementine, see, she was born on Earth, but she spent most of her life on the snow. I ain't asleep, just resting my eyes. You see, she was born on Earth, but Clementine spent 100 years on a snow world called Rhizome. They call it that on account of some you read and some you don't. Anyway, what was she doing all that time? Training. See, Rhizome's full of giant talking rats. They got warrior rats and midwife rats and even mystic rats. Clementine, she learned under the tutelage of a two-headed mystic named Sebum. Taught her everything she knows. She don't talk about it, of course, on account of Sebum's a wanted man. Rat, I guess. But it's God's own truth. I met the man myself, rat. Ah, here's a good one. Long time ago, when I was just 10 years old or so, I moved to a place called Sanctuary. Sanctuary was true to its name. It was a place where folks came to be free from the dead wood, to protect each other. A lot like this place. Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees. But Sanctuary had this one thing I ain't never seen since. They called them movers, and I can still see them in my mind. See, they'd hook up this battery, right? Only it weren't storing power, but stories. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Whole worlds just show up on the wall. Talking rabbits and stuttering pigs and this one real surly duck. Maybe it's something like Ford's old crystals. Except you couldn't walk into the movers. Believe me, I tried. Nah, they just played for you, sound and all. Transporting you to another place. Maybe that's where I got my love of stories, huh? Never really thought about it till now. Stop me if I told you this one already. You ever wonder what the world was like before the Deadwood came? Well, pull up a chair, young'un. The world was filled with people. I'm talking millions, maybe even bazillions. Why, you couldn't sneeze without snotting someone in the face. Now, these folks weren't like us nowadays. They had so much food that they would eat for fun. They'd get together to eat the extra meat. They had spare ribs, called it a barbecue. They were immune to all kinds of diseases. And every one of them, everyone, had a puppy. And the world was run by, let's see here, what was it now? A presidentures, yeah, that's it. On account of the ceremonial wooden teeth. Whole damn world was ruled by the presidentures of the United States, yes, sir. It was a better time then. Folks resolved their differences by coming together, listening to each other's problems and trying to solve them together. Oh, I guess that's what young Bo's trying to do with this place, ain't he? He ain't done half bad so far, neither. I reckon you gotta go through the bad to get to the good again. It's always there waiting if you just keep on looking. Stop me if I told you this one already. This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. And within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper, and he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man's smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him. He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets. You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. Stop me if I told you this one already. Let me tell you what those folks are up to in that atoll, that Ward 10 and 7. That was where they did their experimenting, see? They made weapons for the USA. That's what this land was called back then. And the root, you see, they were cloned. Yes, sir. They found Route D and A trapped in red amber, and they done built themselves an army. But this army, it got out of hand and turned against them. Couldn't tell the difference between the Usanayans and whatever else there was. Pretty good weapon if you ask me. Nigh on slaughter the whole damn world. Makes you think, though. What else were them Usanayans capable of? Maybe it's for the best they ain't around no more. Let me see here. Ho, you met old Wally yet? The boy ain't right, but not in a mudder way. He just ain't right. Talks to the root, he says. I reckon I know why, too. I ain't never told him this, but I was there at his birth. Pooh-hoo! Don't believe me? You wouldn't be the first. But it's true. Why, I was there when he... don't believe me? You wouldn't be the first. But it's true. That was born under a blood moon. Always strange, they say. Harbinger of changification and whatnot. I heard him cry out his first breath. I did, and I says to myself, that ain't natural. Like the squall of some blackbird. Caw-caw! Oh, don't tell him I said it. He wouldn't believe it anyway. Or maybe he would, come to think of it. You talked to him yet? Boy ain't right. You won't believe this one. But you should. So, I gotten separated from the Crazy Eight, my gang, you see. We've been chased by these big old deadwood, taller than a man with 10 times as many pointy bits. Whew, nasty fellers. The others, they holed up in this old scrap building and slammed the door. Left me for dead. There was no way in, but there were these old pipes underground. Sewage, judging by the stink. But I weren't gonna stay out there with Deadwood creeping round, so I held my breath and crawled through what must have been half a mile. I come busting out of the pipes and right into the middle of the Crazy Eight. They were holding me a funeral. I stand up, covered in mud and God knows what else, and just smile at them. And that, friend, is where I got the name Mudtooth. Don't think I told you this one yet. I do miss the days when you could find the stuff the old world used to make. Canned foods, spiced chocolates, electronical music boxes. Oh, found this old can of what's it once. As in, we literally did not know what was in it. The can weren't open, but the label had long rubbed off. Finding that was like all our birthdays at the same time. That can must have been 100 years old, banged up and bloated. Could have been anything in there. So, my boys did what any good family would do. They dared me to drink it. Well, I ain't one to back down from something stupid. So, I grabbed the can and said something sensually flattering about their mamas. Then, I popped the top. Woohoo! Damn stuff hissed and fizzled like some kind of brown sludge demon. Smelled like one, too. I chugged the whole damn thing. The thick goop tasted like scented sewer water. Burned my brain like a chili pepper. I nearly puked with each swallow, but I weren't gonna give them the satisfaction. When I threw the can aside, the boys cheered. I opened my mouth, flashed them a smug smile, and my teeth was all stained the darkest mud brown you ever seen. They stayed that way for at least a month. And that's where I got my name. This is 100%. You heard about the old wards, right? Hell, you should if you're on top of one. The wards were where the root were born. Government experiments, you understand. Well, the oldest one, Ward Goose Egg it's called, was where it all started. And that's where it was worst, see? So this mad scientist by the name of, let me see now, what was his name? Leto was his name. He says there's only one way we can stop what we made and save the world. So, he flies his heliopopper. They flew back in those days, see, that's what they were built for. And he looks down at the ward where the root are pouring out like ants. And he says, blow that sucker up. And boy, they did. Blew the whole damn thing. Didn't stop the root, though. I mean, obviously. Don't think I told you this one yet. So this wanderer comes up to visit me at my heliocopter, right? They're decked out with guns, but they walk up and ask for stew and a story. I'm thinking they'll get tired, wander off, and take my story somewhere else like all the rest. But they don't. They listen to all of it. And I think to myself, this mudder actually wants to hear these. Huh. And it reminds me of... Hey, watch it. So, now, and I think to myself, this mudder actually wants to hear these. Reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way I'd listen to her, and the way my boy Brabus used to listen to me. Before he turned away, that wanderer reminded me of family. And that's the most important thing, ain't it? So, I figure I ain't left long for this world. So I give 'em my wife's old watch in thanks. Ain't too long after that, my boy Brabus comes back in person, first time in years, with a watch chain peeking out his pocket. I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say nothing. Just welcomed the boy back like nothing had changed. Family's the most important thing we got in this world, young'un. Don't forget that. Let me see here. Ho-ho! I was on a scrounge with the Crazy Eight. That was my gang back in the day. We came across this old hospital, see? Folks were holed up in the basement, trapped there for God knows how long. But the Root had found those folks same time we did. Now the Crazy Eight, they were all for running. We got 88 problems, they'd say, and dead folks ain't one of them. But not me. I knew those folks needed help. Also, knew they had food and meds. So I fought for them, tooth and nail. Literally a-biting and a-chewing the damn deadwood off me. When it was over, the Crazy Eight come up to me, and I just smile at them, with root bits stuck all over my teeth. Looked like mud, they said. There you go, Mudtooth. Name stuck ever since.
How many fucking stories?
You'll like this one. Back when the earth fell, a dragon, a real root dragon, took up residence over there, just like in old fairy tales. It started in them wards, see? Your eyes only hush-hush military conspiracizing farms and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did them experiments. And just like those tales, it took a what now? It took a night to slay this dragon. Oh, ho, ho, but the dragon was crafty, all right. He knew the knight needed help, so the dragon gave it to him. Yep, the dragon took the form of a talking tree and told the knight if they wanted to slay that dragon, they'd have to slay all these other beasts first. A cyclops, a living statue, what do you call them? Golem. Well, the knight slayed them all. But the thing was, these beasts weren't protecting the dragon. They were holding him back. So when the dragon finally did reveal itself, it was too strong for the knight. And it took him, body and mind, and made their strength its own. Here's a good one. Did I ever tell you how the world fell in the first place? Well, sit down, friend, 'cause there ain't no one knows what really happened but me. It started in them wards, see? Secret military industrial complexes and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did their experiments. Now, the Root, see, they weren't meant to, Of course I'm awake. Now, the Root weren't meant to reproduce, see? They was built as a weapon, but then they done breeded and got out. Well, we all know what happened after that. Only reason the Root stopped was 'cause the Wanderer, well, he flamethrower-sized their queen, see? Over in that tower on the atoll, so's they couldn't breed no more. Now, listen. You might hear Ford tell you something different, but you look at the two of us and ask which has obviously been around longer. Which of us is most like to have been there, huh? You ask yourself that, and then you just look my Here's a good one. You met my boy Brabus yet? He's a handful, that one. Always has been. Got into a scrap when he was 5, he did. Knocked down a boy had to be, twice his age. And 3 to 6 times his height, at least. Well, that boy's pa didn't take it none too well. And his pa, phew, like a pair of fists with leg bones. That boy's pa wanted to take some skin out of me for it. Now, I ain't proud of what I did next, but oh, who am I kidding? I wouldn't be telling you if I weren't proud, now would I? But, like I taught Brabus, say as I do as I say. And anyways, I couldn't back down from a fight, not in front of the crazy eight. Come to think of it, that's probably how Brabus got the way he is. Anyway, I fight the man. He could have crushed my head between market and roast beef, but I aimed to win, not fight fair. I pointed at nothing at all behind him, then smooshed a scoop of mud straight into his mouth. There was a spitting and a sputtering. I hit him hard. So hard that when he fell, my muddy hand came away with 3 of his teeth in it. And that, friend, is the true story of how I got the name Mudtooth. Here's a good one. Ain't no one on this planet more beautiful or dangerous than the Moth Queen. She rules an old swamp about 100 miles off in, that direction. Folks say if you climb one of these here towers on a clear night, you can see the swamp lights a-flashing. But them ain't no ordinary swamp lights. And she ain't no ordinary queen. She don't lead her people, who really ain't even people, come to think of it. Anyways, the Moth Queen draws folk to her like a... well, like a moth, I guess. That's how the saying goes. Anyway, she captures folks with her beauty and her mothy pulchritude. And she never lets them go. She infects their mind so they never want to leave. And she turns them into something else. If you head off that way, keep your wits about you. 'Cause that swamp used to be a city as big as this'n. But no more. No more. You won't believe this one, but you should. There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? It don't matter. This old man sees everything. And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors, stretching its threads every which way. And this watcher man sits at the center, and he don't just watch. He makes. Where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Oh, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this earth of ours is just one door in 1,200. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants some place to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world. You won't believe I ever tell you. No, but this. The shroud soon as the now the king.
This is so fucking long. Fuck this.
Let me. Did I tell you? Yeah, well, I tell you down there. No, what were they? Oh, you want to know to start off? Why is it? Oh, war. Don't believe me, the boys. I told you these ain't stories, but genuine, actual history, fact proven by me. So I can't just be making them up as I go on. It ain't working that way. You give me some time to think, and I'll remember up a good one for you later. Well, be sure to let couldn't. Well, you take care now.
I don't need saving. The Wanderer needs saving.
They don't like...
Goodbye, traveler.
Good. Let... Well, all right.
Welcome.
Take care, traveler.
Questions? Now I love a good tale. Well, you take care now.
Don't try to get all fancy now.
it. Puzo. Nas of. Nas handul. Es uera. Zal. Beware, hoofless beast. You gaze upon steadfast Lydusa, spirit of the land, nymph of the glittering grotto. When the ground beneath you shakes and quakes and tosses you fro, when boulders tumble and crush from above, when the deep dark caves twist and lead you astray, that's Lydusa's wrath. Now speak, before I petrify your flesh to never-moving stone. Why do you trespass here? Isolation is thin-veiled shelter for intrusion. You wish to steal from me, like all the other wicked beasts. But beasts won't take anything from Lydusa, not anymore. For what's most precious to me has already been taken. The wicked beasts, the hooved ones, they stole Lydusa's precious thing. Without it, I can't tell my singing stones to cease their song of wrath. Yes, the singing stones belong to Lydusa. Once they sang only sweetly. It was my magic that first sung them to life. A song to make them twirl and dance like wind-caught sand. But the wicked beasts twisted my sweet song to screams. I screamed and screamed. Now, poor Lydusa has lost something precious. The beasts stole it and locked it away. I can't sing without it. You, hoofless beast, will find my precious thing and return it to me. Do you feel the stone flesh within? Turning your inside cold and still. That is my curse. The touch of Lydusa. And I won't lift it until you bring me what I seek. I don't remember. But it was precious to me. And it was sundered. Stolen. Without it, I am shadow split. I am not me. I'm not Lydusa. When you find it, beast, you will know that it's mine. That it is precious. Now go, before you become petrified and useless. I have long tired of mortal curiosity. What happened to them? What happened to them? Ask their corpse dust what happened to them. The wicked beasts took what was not theirs. Now their squished flesh rots into loam. Lydusa was kind. She gave and gave. Wisdoms, magics, even the sweet lilted song of the stones. But it was not enough for the beasts. Never enough. Not even in the end. Wicked, wicked beasts. They deserved their deaths and more. This wistful, empty hollow was the throne room of Hoof King Thanos. But I didn't visit him here. No, not once. I couldn't stand the mollycoddles of the mortals. Yet I sense him here still. His life's imprint, drifting in the dust memory of this hollow. So I stay. My Thanos, son of Colquette and king of the Hoofed. He arrived at this land lost and blighted, and one day stumbled upon this sleepy grotto. He sung me the sad song of his people, fractured from their herd. Such a poor and pitiful beastie he was. Sweethearted Lydusa cured him of his plague blight in exchange for a year and a day. A year and a day spent with me. Without her sisters, poor Lydusa had grown so lonesome. My singing stones were my only companions. Talos and I spent each day together. I taught him the song of the stones. And we sang and danced atop the cliff tops. From dawn till dusk. Our bond peaked higher than the mounts, more and deeper than the depths. A bond no other beast could ever understand. Oh, how I did not wish him to go. But he was a hoof king, and his people were his heart's grotto. He returned to them, and as a final gift, I taught him the cure touch for his people's blight. He built me a temple within his golden city, and he would visit me again and again, for I would not allow his life song to fade. But then, he was taken from sweet Lydusa. Taken. Stolen. Taken by the wicked beasts. Taken wicked beasts. I will speak of them no more. The only one here, but not the only spirit. My sisters have all scatter-danced to the wind, to spread flower bloom and newborn springs. Only steadfast, lonesome Lydusa remains. I can't. I cannot go, beast. Not until I take back what is mine. Not until I'm me again, unbroken from all these pieces. Made whole. Until then, I remain here. So that is the dreadful stench unleashed upon you. Hoofed ones, here. No, no, no. They should all be gone. My singing stones will crush this wonder hoof. This beast is as naive as a newborn pebble. The hoofed ones are all muck and dirt water on their inside. Soft, sweet Lydusa taught them the song of the stones. Singing stones to heat their food pots, cradle their little ones, carry their packs. Yet still they took, still they stole, still they hurt. I too trusted them once. I thought them harmless. But only lovely Thalos was a gem carved from a different rock. And the wicked ones took him too. This wanderhoof had dare not intrude upon Lydusa's secret place, or my singing stones will shred him through. Good. The spill sands of time are not on your side. So long, beast. I won't lift my curse touch until you find my precious thing.
Oh. Oh.